Brooks, welcome back to All the Castles, the show where we visit all the castles in the UK. Today we're here at Chester Castle. It's right in the middle of Chester.
Hello, well I'll give you more about the medieval history of the castle when we get to a more medieval part. As you can see, this isn't medieval. The castle had a great makeover under the architect Thomas Harrison in the late 18th, early 19th centuries, and rebuilt much of the Outer Bailey in a style called Greek Revival. And this was a crowning point. This is known as the Propylaeum and is now the main entrance to the castle, and this was completed in 1815. Hello, we're here in what is now the main courtyard, and it's mostly given over to a car park, but you've also got the military museum and some administrative buildings for the University of Chester, and there you've got the Crown Court, and of course I presume that was a cannon going off, as I'll explain that in a bit further. The Crown Court is most notorious, of course, for being the place where the Moors murderers were sentenced. So this was really where Ian Brady and Myra Hindley more or less last saw the light of day.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. And up here you have a rather impressive statue of Queen Victoria.
Okay, one thing to note about Chester Castle is that at the moment it's not regularly open to the public. It's shut down for COVID and hasn't fully reopened yet, so you have to come here on specially advertised days. We're here to see what's called a Redcoat event. Well, we're not actually, we're here to see the castle, but there's a Redcoat event going on, and we'll show you a bit of footage of that. No, I don't think there's live ammunition there, Simon.
What tells you that?
Modern day health and safety regulations, I would guess.
I don't see the problem with shooting gas.
Just as you come into the old part of the castle, there's a building on your left, and there's an exhibition giving you a full history of the castle. I'm just going to give you a short précis. It was built by William the Conqueror. He didn't build it on the site of the old Roman fortress. It was just outside the old city walls from the Roman time, but it does adjoin parts of Roman Chester. It was originally a wooden castle and was probably rebuilt in stone in the following century. It was given to the Earls of Chester, who were supposed to keep the Welsh in check in return, but the line of the Earls of Chester died out, and the king then took possession of the castle. It became a royal residence, and it was used particularly by Edward I in his long campaign against the Welsh. During the revolt against King Richard II, Richard was captured at Flint, not far from here, and he had a meeting with Henry Bolingbroke, who told him that he was taking over, and Richard was never a free man again. But he wasn't killed here, he was taken down to London. And like most castles, it was seized by one side in the English Civil War, but it wasn't deliberately slighted by Cromwell, because it was still very useful to him as a base for his campaign in Ireland. It was then given over to various military regiments and gradually fell into disrepair and as I already mentioned, in the late 18th century, much of it was demolished and rebuilt by Thomas Harrison. Off the exhibition room, you will find one or two cells which were still being used at least into the Victorian period. I think the table was fairly modern though. And you're not going to shut me in here, are you, Simon?
Yes. Haha, Lamau, you're stuck in prison for the rest of your life. Ha, 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 silly boy.
No, they definitely don't.
Oh, very good. That's quite a relief, given whose hands it's now in. Okay, Simon. Yeah, what we're looking at here is the Agricola Tower. It definitely isn't Roman, but it does date from the 12th century and is the oldest surviving part of the castle. It was originally the gateway to the castle and has survived when a lot of the surrounding buildings have been torn down. And it's open, and we'll go to look at a rather nice chapel on the first floor. Hello, we're in the little chapel of St Mary de Castro on the first floor of the Agricola Tower. The whole tower was used as an ammunition dump in the Victorian period, but the chapel was reconsecrated in 1925 and used by the regiment that was stationed here. It dates from around 1200, and there are the remains of some medieval wall paintings, but for a non-expert it's very hard to know what's going on here. But there is a full explanation as to what the original looked like. Hello, this is a room, a floor up above the chapel, which was used as soldiers' sleeping quarters. As you can see, the highly comfortable beds laid out there. I thought it was a particularly jolly experience sleeping here. But, you know, these military men, they've got to be pretty hard, haven't they? These stairs here lead to the roof, but at the moment you're not allowed up there because there are no safety railings at the top. The good news, I've just been told, is that later in the year they're having some railings put in, so on a future visit you might be able to get right to the top, where I would imagine there's a brilliant view of the city and the Welsh Mountains. Okay. Okay. There is a nice walk around part of the castle walls once you get outside. Okay.
That's the Sally Port.
Ah,
Takes you
right.
down to the foot of the walls, bends left, then right, and takes you right to the foot of the walls. You get a nice view back of the castle.
Great.
And there's the ladies down there doing the cooking and me and things there.
Right, okay, let's go, Simon.
They were very good. Hello. Got an actual genuine sword.
This is a sergeant's hanger. Yes.
Have a look.
It's the
Can I hold it?
It's the It's cool. It's more of a decorative piece rather than.
This is the Sally Port, the entrance to the castle from the River Dee, which is just over there. You can perhaps see the bridge in the background. Might have at one time actually lapped up to the castle walls, and you do get a good view from the bottom of the mound supporting the original keep of the castle, not much of which remains. Okay, so this is probably the best view of the castle from the bottom of the old moat here, and we'll now go back inside. Oh yeah, filming this from the highest point of the tower you can reach. Get a good view of the River Dee and the bridge over it, the hills of Wales in the background, and Chester Racecourse, which I don't think is open today, or it will be a bit livelier by now, I think. And nice view of people walking the city walls, and a bit of a reenactment going on down below us. Hello, this is the flag tower. Although it doesn't look particularly impressive, this is actually probably the oldest part of the castle. It's on the site of the original keep, so it could well have been built in the late 1100s, though as you can see it's got buttresses from much later, and a window frame, the square window frame, that's quite clearly a later addition. But just behind this rather ugly whitewash building, you can see the remains of a curved tower. That's the Half Moon Tower. That also is medieval. You would think that's from the 13th century, but you don't get a great view of it because of the building in front. But at least we've seen part of it. Yep.
Thank you very much for watching today's video, Rook, so you tune in to the next one. We would make this video an hour long, but the Normans are currently going full pelt at my house and just can't have that happening, so got to get back as quickly as possible. Until then, see you later.